DIGI-Onlys. And did you know that he missed all the big news with Jordan Love's contract while he was on assignment? Well, we couldn't go this long without any of his insights on this deal. So joining us on a special Digi-Only across the great ESPN Wisconsin YouTube channels, it is the Packers Hall of Famer from parts unknown, some sort of hard to describe hotel room, which gives me no clue where he might be. It is Tausch, Mark Tauscher, the Packers Hall of Famer. Tausch, how are you this evening, I guess is when we're recording this?
I'm doing fantastic. Nice shirt, by the way, Wisconsin journalist, Big J, the Big J school for Big J. You know what? I have to give Jesse credit. You know, the news, of course, breaks Friday night. And you know what was funny? I get some texts that it's happening. And then all of a sudden I sent that thing. And Jason, I know you're an avid follower of my Instagram. Double rainbow. Instagram? It's a double rainbow that pops up as the Jordan Love news breaks. So I go get a picture showing the rainbow, like literally dropped into this lake. And I was thinking, pot of gold, all that love, and what would have been, I've never seen it actually rotate into the lake the way that it did. It was not, a lot of times it dies on the horizon. This thing was 3 feet deep into the lake. So I've been saying the whole time that this was going to get done. I did say it was going to be done on Monday, and now I wish it was, because I wouldn't be sitting here in a hotel room doing it 4 days later before our Monday show. But it made too much sense for it not to get done. And I think, and you were at these practices with Jordan sitting out, I think, as we said on Monday last week when training camp opened, it's great. You know, you're working, you're getting guys reps. It's just different. And Goody and everybody, I think they wanted probably to win the negotiation a little bit more. But I think they finally realized pads are coming on. Big this season. He's our guy. Maybe we'll throw some stuff here that we normally don't want to do. And let's just do this. And I give Jordan and his team a ton of credit for sticking with what they needed to get done. And if you remember, I know Domofsky, I believe, is joining our show sometime this week.
Do you still here?
I think so. And million mark. Oh my God, no. And of course, it comes in at 55 million. So I think in the grand scheme of things, you need to get your guy in there when he is your guy. And that's what happened. And I think moving forward, that's exactly what should have happened. I wish it would have happened a little bit earlier, but I'm telling you right now, just like when we discussed Aaron Rodgers not being at minicamp, Love goes out to Brazil and plays great football. Nobody is going to remember he missed 3 or 4 days of training camp. None.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, he has shown some rust the first 2 practices, because as Matt LaFleur told us on Sunday, everybody needs to practice, including the $220 million man. He's had some great throws. Had an unbelievable deep ball to Christian Watson. It was an absolute thing of beauty. He also threw a pick 6 to Kalen King on Sunday in practice. So I do think that while he was throwing to Tucker Kraft and Jaden Reed and some of the equipment guys inside the Hudson Center after those practices,
Odie one of them?
I don't. Odie, Tim Odie has gotten. He's kind of a big deal at Lambeau Field these days, so he doesn't even yell "right hash going that way" anymore like he used to when you were playing.
Oh, well, he's getting old.
But I want to ask you this question, because this is the question I have been asked repeatedly by fans and some of our teammates. If you had to pick a winner, obviously both sides win. Jordan Love is rich beyond his wildest dreams. The Packers have their quarterback now in camp, and they could start chasing a Super Bowl, as Jordan so eloquently put it in his opening statement. But who won the negotiation in Old T's opinion?
I think Jordan Love did. And because we're sitting here right now, Jordan Love could revert and not play great football. And he's going to have, $75 million in a signing bonus. and I think 150 or 155 million in guarantees. So as we sit here right now, is the one that has probably won the negotiation, because I firmly believe Green Bay probably came in a lot earlier and was thinking. Do you remember it was Daniel Jones' contract that people were thinking, boy, I don't know if Green Bay should pay him that, which is $40 million a year. And in the course of that time, and let me
but
finish,
things
please.
exploded after.
Of course it did. But Tua gets 53 and a half, and Goff got 53, and everybody was kind of sitting there. So he ends up getting, I think, everything that he wanted. As far as the number, I think he wanted to be the highest paid. With the unprovenness that I think some people have, that would be the win for me, is that he's played one season and he is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. When you add all that up, I think it's pretty obvious as we sit here now that he is. But what I will say, and what I've said all offseason, is you get this deal done, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a 4-year extension off of this year. So it's 5 years total. Mm-hmm. So when you start adding up the $11 million that he's getting paid this year, his cap number is going to be very manageable for 2 years. Right. And if he's great, like we think, he's going to be going back to the table in a couple of years, because this number, it's going to be 60. It's going to be 65. It's going to be 70 by the time. And then the Packers are going to look, and it's going to say, wow, if he wins big and is an MVP and it can lead this team to a Super Bowl, $55 million is child's play as a starting quarterback if you can get all that done. So all said and done, I think negotiations, both sides probably gave a little. Yeah. That's what I think. We're sitting here now. But when you ask the question, Jordan Love's getting all this money in his pocket. And even if he doesn't play great, he's getting that money. And that's why you'd say he'd win.
All right. So for those of you watching our Digi-Only, I don't know how the video looks on YouTube as we're recording this, but I'm watching Tausch, and it looks like this to me. This is what I see of Tausch. I see him from the bridge of his nose up. So I hope that that's how it looks on YouTube too. Continuing our Digi-Only
on the
ESPN. No, not really. It's still really close. Like, I mean, it's really close. It's a close-up.
For as many times as we do this, you think we would be better at it.
So Tausch, let me devil's advocate you here though, because they were going to have to pay the going rate, and the going rate has exploded, right? So there's no denying that the Daniel Jones money was donezo. There was no way they were getting him for under $50 million for sure. And if they were going to get him for less than $55 million a year, it was going to be 53 or 54. But the last cap number of his contract is $74 million. So I'm sorry, but the $55 million a year, if we're being truthful, is kind of funny money. So he can have that, and so David Mulugheta and Andrew Kessler can say, we got our guy the same amount per year as Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. Well, the only quarterback other than Daniel Jones, who again has been completely erased from the equation now with the way these numbers have exploded, the only one of these super 50 million per year or more guys that he is erased in terms of guaranteed money or beaten out in terms of guaranteed money is Trevor Lawrence, who got 142. He got less than Tua, who got 160. He got less than Goff, who got 170 or 175. He got less than Lamar Jackson, who got 185. He got less than Justin Herbert, who got 218. He got less than Burrow, who got 219. And he got less than Deshaun Watson, who I still can't believe got $230 million guaranteed, given his off-the-field issues and now how he's played in Cleveland from the Browns. So I think what they did was, and again, I am of the belief, and I know this isn't the sexy answer, that they both won, but I think the Packers got a W here because they decided, all right, look, we're not going to give you as much guaranteed money as some of these other guys got, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. we're going to give you the biggest signing bonus in NFL history, $75 million guaranteed. And then you can take a victory lap on that, and you get all that money. What is it? Right, he got 25 now, 25 in October, and another 25 later on. Like, that's a big incentive, right? And so they don't give him as much guaranteed money as a bunch of guys that are over 200 million guaranteed. If he turns out to be great, he still has to earn some of it. And if he doesn't turn out to be great, they're still going to be able to get out from under this much more effectively than some other teams are going to be able to get out of theirs. So to me, that's a W for Russ.
Okay. Russ wins almost every negotiation. That's how this goes. Mm-hmm. But if you would recall, all off season, I think I said, and I don't know if you agreed with me or not, you should have. I said the Packers will win the structure of the deal.
Yeah,
they will get because that's what they do. That's what they do. So he got the biggest signing bonus of all time. That's a win. And by the way, how are you going to say he didn't win? He's played one season.
I didn't say he didn't. I literally said at the beginning that they both won. But what I'm saying,
you're picking sides, and
you're the one who said they were going to win on structure, and you were proven right. But you're arguing that Love won, which tells me that you see it the same way as I do.
No, because Jason, they didn't want to go there.
Well, the market gave them no choice but to go there.
They could have done it earlier. Jordan's team held strong and didn't do it. You don't think in May or June they would have loved to said, "Here's $50 million and let's just go," because they could have and they didn't.
Well, so listening to Goody, first of all, he played a little revisionist history about all the wild throws he saw in 2020 and 2021. I'm not sure I saw those, and I'm not sure he saw those.
That's a direct rebuke of Jason Wilde, is what that is.
I did enjoy that. I also enjoyed the fact that he claimed that it was a good move to do the half-measure contract that they did in May, which of course wasn't, because it tied their hands all season long, and that's why they paid as much as they did now, because they couldn't do anything during the season when he started getting going.
Yeah, so, and that's where I wish Goody was just straight up. You know, there ain't anybody that's a bigger Good guy than old T. But if you don't sign, if he's a fifth-year option, it would have done what they did with Aaron Rodgers. They would have given him, it maybe would have been less than 50.
Yeah, it would have been better than Daniel Jones money, but not what he got. Yep, no doubt about it.
And that's why when you ask the question, and you're always the guy, well, you try to hedge everything. Well, both teams played hard. And
is that what I sound like?
Sometimes when you're hedgy McGee.
But when he turned into Yogi Bear.
That's why.
Well, let's go steal a picnic basket.
I'm camping, so maybe that's what. Very nice camping. Anyways, that's why I picked Jordan Love as the winner in this, because know what he's doing. Like, we didn't know anything, and now you're sitting as the highest paid quarterback, and he's got $155 million in guarantees, with only a 4-year extension. Which I know that sounds, but you just said it. $75 million the last deal. If he is great, this ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna get to the last year of his deal ever again.
Right.
You know how the Packers operate. It ain't gonna ever happen again. It's either
trade him to the Jets.
He's either gonna be great and he's gonna get extended early and redone his deal and all this, or it's not. And then Packers could say, well, did the Packers win if he's not great? No, they didn't win. So that's why Jordan wins in this. And I'm telling you right now, that if Jordan's as great as Goody and everybody says and thinks and hopes that he is, you're going to look in 2 years, 3 years and say, man, man, they're only paying him $55 million bucks. Like Rodgers did, and always, well, he needs to get rid of, like Patrick Mahomes. If you're going to be in that rarefied air, that's what's going to happen. That's what you hope for. So that's why I picked Jordan in that win. But I'm telling you right now, I think Packer fans, what you wanted to avoid, and I said this all offseason, dack it. The Cowboys dacked it. The Washington football teams cousined it. And you know what happened? Blech. Now the Cowboys are sitting there. They don't have a clue what the hell they're doing because they didn't take care of their guy and maybe pay a little bit more than they wanted to and then have these costs. You know what guys want? You know what Russ Ball wants?
Cost certainty.
Thank you. This, Jesse, headline this, cost certainty whenever you put your little deal up. Because
no one's going to click that.
You figure out what people click on.
So
maybe
boring.
Yogi Bear, but
Jason and Tausch discuss cost certainty and fiduciary responsibility on the next edition.
Now, Jason, you can mock me all you want, but when you're running a business and $1 billion business and the most important part of your franchise, when you have that, then you can start figuring out the other stuff, the other players, and the budget. Because if you're running a construction company or something, you would love to say, okay, well, my cost is right here. Okay, well, then I have to accommodate that for my margins to be good, so I stay in business.
Sure.
But the Cowboys are going to be in big trouble. They're not going to be doing that because they haven't got cost certainty. Okay?
All right. First of all, not mocking the concept, mocking the headline that you want to put on YouTube, not mocking the segment idea or the discussion therein. Secondly, did you schedule this just to take victory laps on all the things?
There's no victory. What do you mean
for
victory?
months? Because it kind of feels like, well, I've been saying this for months, and I've been saying this for months.
Done before Thanksgiving. He hasn't given us that yet.
He did sign before Thanksgiving of 24. So, listen, it's not about taking a victory lap. It's just understanding what's going on. And by the way, stop saying I scheduled this. Okay, it's annoying me. I do want to be.
I didn't schedule this.
I know we're well aware of that. I mean, the funniest part is that Jesse, who works less than anybody, is the one that did. But it's not about any of the victory. What it is Packers are a well-run operation, and they're not going to cowboy it, dack it. They decided that this was their guy, and when you do that, you go do it.
All right,
you go and do it. They did, and now it's up to Jordan Love. Because everybody is going to be monster winners, and if he doesn't, you know what? Green Bay will be able to get out from under it in a decent amount, not going to be crushed if he's not. But make no mistake about it, he needs to be great if this team is going to be great. And that's what this contract represents.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, so I can go to bed.
Why are you going to bed at 9:45 a.m.?
Because we're recording this late on Sunday evening after your late local news. Or maybe, unless you're watching NBC, they're still playing
like
Olympics.
NBC with the Olympics.
I really hope it's being recorded, unlike the last time we did this DIGI-ONLY.
So everything you said there, old T, was accurate, except maybe the scheduling thing. But on top of that, let's talk a little bit about the window that this opens, because what I think when you look at kind of the specifics now that have come out about the structure, they have this year and they have 2025 and they have 2026, where his cap number is manageable / frankly low, and they can get some stuff done. Then it goes up. Now, look, where they're sitting at the cap right now, or where the league is sitting with the cap, we're going to be over 300 million before you know it. So that is just, I mean, with the exception of maybe that Sunday ticket fiasco that they've got going on, they're in a fiscal position for their caps to go up and up and up. So that'll help as well. But I am curious, when you look, because of the Goody stand that you are, this 3-year window, is this, now that they've got this deal done, they have manageable cap numbers for him despite the big number overall that they're paying him, is this 3-year window, this the Pella window where Goody and company need to get it done? Because it's not impossible to do it after this window, but it does start to get harder, especially when you factor in that some of these guys are going to get second contracts, and they ain't getting any cheaper either if they're in that position.
So here's the deal. Obviously, last year was a big surprise, and I think a pleasant surprise. If Jordan Love is him, I've been hanging around a lot of young people. If he is him, this window's open for 10 years. It isn't about – you have these young players right now on a deal, right? All these wideouts and tight ends, and eventually somebody's going to get paid. But the cap is going to go up, and you have Jordan Love locked in for 2 or 3 years at very reasonable cap numbers. And if he is as great as we all hope, that will get redone and restructured and redone, all of that. But yes, this last year's postseason and now where we're at, the window is wide open. Like, we didn't know if there was even a window last year. It's wide open. And when you have your quarterback locked up and cost certainty, all the other stuff you can figure out, okay, here's who else we're going to pair with him. And then we'll bring in young talent. And if Jordan Love is the guy that we hope he is, the Packers championship window is a decade plus, not 2 or 3 years.
All right. Wait a minute now, because nobody knows Pella windows and doors of Wisconsin better than you do. You also know.
In fairness, Gina does.
Well,
okay. In fairness.
Yes. Okay.
She does.
No,
she does.
I'd pick Gina. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we were including Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin employees in my question here. But as Gina well knows, but also
as you always put it, words matter. So that's all. So continue.
Yeah, God, I miss you. How many more days you gonna be gone? As you well know from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, not as well as Gina Della, but others, they have lots of different size windows. So I would agree with you that obviously if Jordan Love is good, their championship window is going to be open. But it's going to be a different sized window based on how different guys get paid. You played on teams that had Brett Favre. You played on teams that had Aaron Rodgers. Now, I think during your time with Rodgers, the only time you didn't make it to the playoffs while he was the starter was 2008 when he took over. But you had 2005, you had 2006 with Brett. And then after your retirement with Rodgers, they had 2017 when he broke his collarbone. They had 2018 when they fired Mike with 4 games left. They had 2022 when he broke his thumb and didn't play well. And by the way, if they were so certain that Jordan was so ready in 2022, like Goody was saying, then I found myself wondering, why didn't you sit the guy with the broken thumb?
Hey, did you ask him?
That was not the appropriate time to ask that when we were celebrating Jordan's new contract, but you can bet that will be asked someday. But my point is that while the windows are all going to be there as long as he is good, the window for the next 3 years are like the window that Gina's putting in our house, the big bay window at the front of our house. It is the biggest window we have. Now, the windows in some of those other years may still be nice, good-sized windows, but they're not going to be quite as big as the bay window.
So here's where I disagree with you. And I understand the fact that Jaden Reed's rookie deal. Hey, you just go through the list, all these rookie deals. And
yeah, everyone's on a rookie deal.
Yeah, and that's fair. But do you think this is going to be the best version of Jordan Love?
No, but I'm saying in the next 3 years, I would say that his best form should be 25 and 26, just like Rodgers in his 3rd year as the starter won a Super Bowl with you. And Favre, I think in his 4th year as a starter, won a Super Bowl. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that, that's when you're supposed to be at the peak of your powers. When, and I can't believe I'm doing this at 10:37 at night, but 9:37 Mountain Time, the Tausch elevators light up perfectly. And I think that's when this window is going to be with the elevators lining up. That doesn't mean that they won't have more opportunities, but Jaden Reed's not. If Jaden Reed is who we think he is, he ain't going to be cheap. If Christian Watson has figured out his hamstring issues after seeing that deep ball the other day in practice,
training case, he's coming on, baby. He's coming on.
He ain't going to be cheap. And I saw on Sunday, I saw Dontavion Wicks make the best catch in camp. So those guys are all they're going to figure out what they're going to do with Luke Musgrave, who's been kind of quiet, frankly, after everyone was raving about him a year ago at this time. So my point is that you no longer have the quarterback. I don't want to sound like Ryan Grigson here, but you now don't have the quarterback on the rookie deal. You paid him the big money, but it's not going to hit your cap as hard this year, next year, and in 26. Now is the time when all those other guys are on rookie deals to make the magic happen.
No doubt. And I think your elevator thing that we've talked about numerous times, the next 2 or 3 years is going to be, you're 100% correct. But if he is the guy, and that's the beauty of having the guy, you reset. And it's going to be
always
different
have
players.
A chance.
You have a chance to have a chance, a la Brad Childress.
We got to call him, by the way. He was supposed to be on the show.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Chili a couple weeks ago. So, yes, I think when you have this mix match of all these young players that are going to be playing and growing at a high level, that's the goal, right? And then you can spend on defense and pick up the tricky part is going to be you better not miss with these draft picks, because now with Jordan Love getting paid big money, and if you're going to pay a couple of wideouts, you ain't going to have that extra scratch laying around to grab X and pay him top dollar. You're not going to be able to do, kind of supplement and bring in a Jacobs and pay him good money. You better develop these guys as you're doing it. And he done it good last year with all these young guys, the wideouts and the tight end. So he just continues to do that. Be very smart about who you pay. And this window is wide open. But yes, this year, next year, and the following year, showed last year with all of the stuff that we didn't even know about that they could win. And now it sounds like, listening to Jordan Love talk on the NFL Network, Jeff Hafley's defense is dynamite. Like, oh my, it's so much different and better. So windows now. It is a wide open, beautiful Big Bay window now. And is it going to get less as Jordan Love gets better? I don't think so. Why would you?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think there are other factors, not just how he improves. All right. How much longer are you gone? I'm scheduled to play.
Me? You missing me?
No.
You miss me, don't you?
I'm playing
rascal.
the role.
I knew.
I think this was good.
I'm playing the role of Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News with Vince Vitrano, Eric Bilstead, and our buddy Pancake, Greg Hill. I'm scheduled to do that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I presume that you are scheduled to return to your show, which you called our show earlier. You're going to be back on Thursday on our program?
I am, and I have a really fun video I'm going to send out Thursday morning to kind of say I'm back. I'll be back. Hasta la vista, a luego. I'll be back. And I'll send that out Thursday. So, yes, I'll be back Thursday.
Quite the tease. Has that video been shot?
It gets their blank together. Okay. Old T did not have a great experience on the whole operation. But in fairness, could have been much worse. I almost sent the text out to Big Cat. He's the airline guy. He fixes things when problems arise on airlines. Okay. Luckily, I didn't have to send it to Big Cat. So I didn't. But God willing,
right, well,
I'll be back.
You realize this is like a worldwide outage. It's not just like one bad flight experience you had. Like everybody in the world is dealing with this.
Jesse, airline travel's personal. It's not about the big picture. It's personal.
Okay. All right. As much as I enjoy the postmortem of every road trip you go on and then hearing what went
not
wrong.
Everyone.
Almost everyone.
When I went to Peru, it wasn't about me. It was my brother's travel snafus, not mine. I didn't say anything about me. I said it was great.
You would agree that when you travel, more often than not, there are some grievances that wind up being aired upon your return.
That travel has gotten more and more complicated as the world has gotten bigger. I would agree with that. Yes.
Sure. All right. Well, enjoy Paris. I hope you really enjoy. I know you'd already been there once.
Question before I finish up here.
Dude, I want to go to bed.
Do you think Jordan Love is relieved or excited about this about how this all played out?
What a great question. And we will address that on Thursday when Mark Tauscher returns to Wilde and Tausch. Safe travels, safe camping, apparently.
Safe everything. Always
safe
good
everything. We look forward to your return. I appreciate you.
And Jesse, thank you so much for inviting me to come on. I appreciate you sending the invite out to jump on short notice.
That is not, based on my text chain, that is not what I see here.
So, Jason, just before I leave, you really think I reached out to Jesse and said, while I'm on vacation, I'd love to sit in my hotel room and jump on for 45 minutes with you. You really think I sent that?
It says, no, I'm not going to put your business on the street.
I invited Tausch. Hand up. I did.
Jason,
I didn't.
You invited him to appear on the show on Monday.
I thought, first segment out of the gate would be good, and instead here we are.
Not the same as a 10 p.m. Digi-Only, which is not what you invited him to.
You don't like, you know what irritates me? You don't like Digis like I do. I wish you'd embrace Digi a little bit more. I'm going to leave you with that.
Spent the last 45 minutes on one there.
I know, but you weren't that excited. I wanted you more excited about it, I'm being honest.
I appreciate you gracing us with your presence so I could be reminded of how much I miss you when you're gone.
I know you do.
Tausch will be back on Thursday. I am going to bed. Jesse, who went into the studio essentially in the middle of the night to do this.
Good job, Jesse.
We'll have this posted. You are probably watching it right now on YouTube. Thanks to Tausch. Thanks to Jesse. And thanks to you for tuning in to this Digi-Only across ESPN Wisconsin's YouTube channels. Take care, be good, and go to bed. Digi-Only.